Hello, and welcome to Millennial Moms Unfiltered. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about mother-in-laws. You guys sent in your worst mother-in-law stories, and we're going to read them
and react.
And react. Yeah, I read a couple of them because I couldn't help it. But without further ado, let's get into it. Before we get started, I want to remind you guys about leaving a 5-star review on Apple. We'll give you guys other chances to win these tumblers that are completely one of a kind. Leave a 5-star review and contact information of some sort, like a handle to Instagram, and you could be chosen to win. We'll do other Instagram giveaways like this too, but let's start with Apple.
Sounds good.
Yep, that's all I wanted to say about that. Sorry.
I'm going to preface this episode about mother-in-laws with...
Oh, yeah, I had a disclaimer.
I apologize that any of you have horrible mother-in-laws. I am fortunate enough to have the best mother-in-law. Patrick's mom and my mom, I'll give you a little backstory. They have known each other since they were 8 and set us up. So my mom and Pat's mom have been friends forever, and she's just the best. She is not your typical mother-in-law. She does not do half these things, I'm sure.
Oh, come on here.
But so yeah, I'm sorry that you guys don't have that. Just rubbing it in 15. A little bit.
Okay, we're gonna work backwards on these.
I've only heard one of these, so my reactions.
I got like 2 that were like to me, without going through the links, and okay. And also I just want to preface this by saying, like, this is all in good fun. Like, we're not dragging people through the mud. Work your shit out, you know, and set
boundaries and be a good communicator.
Oh, that reminds me. I forgot to do the Ask Brittany thing that started this whole thing. But anyway, yeah, the older generations haven't done the work to handle some of these situations, but also some of you guys do have mother-in-laws that actually are sociopaths. So there's that too.
Monster-in-laws.
But also, like, don't feed into it. We're bigger people, okay? But boundaries are important, and they should follow and respect your boundaries. Mm-hmm. All right. Now that I'm out of breath, I'm like, do I even work out? No. All right. First one. Does my mother-in-law showing up to surprise us halfway through our honeymoon in Cabo count as a bad in-law story? I was pissed. It was bad. Same resort and everything. It was them, the priest that married us, and 3 of their friends. They told us that they were watching us all day and were surprised that we didn't notice. So when we started talking about boundaries, this is exactly what we're talking about. I can't imagine doing that, you know? I don't know what it's like to think that, like,
what went through their heads. Not just the mother-in-law, but the father-in-law, and then 4 other people thought that was a good idea.
I'm sorry, you brought the priest while I'm about to be, some shit's going down in this hotel room right now, and you brought the priest?
On the honeymoon.
Okay, yeah. I would never have that thought. I would never even be on the site to buy tickets for that. Like, to me, you stole a moment away from your son.
That's harsh.
And I don't even understand how we get there.
I don't understand. And also, how was that handled? Because, like,
yeah,
I know that if something were to ever happen where I felt like I couldn't handle a situation because I didn't want to be disrespectful to my husband, I would definitely expect him to handle it.
Right.
Like you need to
where do
deal
we go
with
from
this.
here? And I just, yeah, I'm all about like,
That's like before the kids and everything.
I've had experiences where I felt like moments were stolen from me, and so this is one of those things. It's a line that is it's so wrong. It's so wrong. Oh, this is a long one. Okay.
Ooh.
Oh, this is horrible.
Oh no.
I know. Do you want to read it? It's so long because you know how I am with words.
Oh no. My 30-year-old husband suddenly and unexpectedly died last year from septic shock, leaving me with a whole-ass house and a now 7 and 2.5-year-old kid. We had the best relationship for about 10 years and were never the on and off type of relationship that I feel like a lot of people deal with. We never broke up or took a break, none of that. He was my literal best friend. Anywho, fast forward to a couple weeks ago, my mother-in-law was essentially telling me that she does not understand my struggle. Her argument was, there are plenty of single mothers who do it all on their own. I tried explaining to her that I'm not a single mother. I'm a solo fucking parent, bitch. There are no weekends to look forward to having all to myself because the kids are with their dad, like other single moms, their kids go with their dad sometimes. There's no tapping out for a little while when he gets home from work. There's none of that anymore. Her rebuttal was, but plenty of single moms don't have support of their kid's father, whether because they argue, don't get along, or the father just simply doesn't have anything to do with the child. I looked at her dumbass dead in the eyeballs and said, I did not choose to have kids with a toxic man. I did not choose to have kids with a piece of shit. I chose to have kids with a decent human being that you raised. Those are not the fucking same. You should probably leave now, and we haven't really spoken since. She hasn't asked to see my kids. She hasn't checked in to see how any of us, especially my difficult 7-year-old, is doing. I'm holding a grudge here a little bit, and I'm not sure how to let go of it, and essentially turning into resentment.
I just want to say, you handled that so much. You're getting emotional because I'm getting emotional.
I just
like,
feel
that's so horrible.
Yeah, I feel like this is like not like my mother-in-law was being an annoying piece of shit. This is like
someone that's not processing their own trauma, someone that's taking it out on the wrong person, and you're also going through it. And like, you started a life with this person and it was stolen from you.
Yeah.
Like, and as someone that was a single mom with one kid who was autistic, and I had my parents' support and I had a little bit of backup, but it was still fucking hard. It is so difficult to be a single parent, especially when it was never the plan, especially when you have to process your own thoughts and feelings on a situation that 30-year-olds don't plan for that. You don't plan to die at 30.
No.
And that's horrible. You're helping your kids process their feelings about missing their dad. That is so much.
Yeah.
And it is cruel.
And what is she not understanding your struggle? Like, what struggle? Like what is she referring to that she doesn't understand? Like your financial struggle, or like your
probably
emotional
all of
struggle,
it, or just like wanting
but like
a break.
how would you not
how do you
not understand that struggle? Like, what does she not get about that?
Right. And it's like you're just trying to be cruel. She is just trying to be cruel because it is so.
Yes,
if she was never in that situation, honestly, shut the fuck up, and not even respectfully. Like, I think that woman should shut the fuck up.
Respectfully. No, it's not the same. You do deserve a break. And she should be the one there helping.
To help, yeah.
You should be able to rely on her. Especially considering you both lost someone very important.
That
would bring you together.
Right. That should be a bonding experience, not an experience for her to be like, I don't know why you're not doing a better job.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, I want you to know that you're doing a great job and you're doing the best that you can with what you have. And just how you handled the situation is better than I would have.
Yeah. I'm sorry, girl.
Yeah, that was heavy.
I'm really sad now.
I know. My wife and I are happily married. Oh, this is from a guy?
Ooh. Ooh.
I don't know what's happening. It doesn't matter. Love is love here. My wife and I are happily married, but let's go back to a decade ago when we first got together. Early 20-year-olds, still living with our parents and fucking like rabbits. Back then, my mother-in-law would always end up coming home absolutely shit-faced. One night while she was out, we started getting busy. We're in the heat of the moment, and suddenly, out of nowhere, my mother-in-law barges in my wife's childhood bedroom, and then absolutely hammered, we threw the comforter over our naked bodies. My penis was literally inside of this woman's daughter. As the woman proceeds to plop down on the bed on top of the comforter, right on top of us, she begins ranting about how the bar was and how the owner and the owner's wife would not let her drive her car home. Turns out the owners had to drive her home, and she was telling us about it while the entire time we were trying to act normal, as if my dick was not inside her daughter's vagina underneath her. I just want to know, like,
I'm really glad a man sent this in. I'm so happy.
That's a nice little change up. I've got questions though. Did you stay hard the whole time? Like,
I didn't expect that question.
How it didn't slip
How
out?
did you recover? Did when she left?
Did you guys just like call it a night at that point? Because I would have just. Was there no locks?
Damn.
I mean, you weren't expecting her to come home, but it's like, what's the mother-in-law like now? Does she still?
Does she know?
Does she still do
Does
this
she know
stuff?
that was happening?
Was this ever talked about?
Yeah, she was shit-faced it, and you married her. So,
did I skip one?
oh man, that's hysterical. I'm sorry that your mother-in-law doesn't have more boundaries.
You know,
but also,
honestly,
you were fucking in her house,
right? And she was drunk. She had no fucking idea what was going on. I don't have a ton of stories like that. Like, I've never really been walked in up with the kids, but I mean, I think that happens to everybody. Not like in any. We're pretty good at rebounding. We have like a plan. We're like, if we're doing it at a time where we could be walked in on, we have a lot of. Like,
we haven't been walked in on the kids. Most
lucky.
of the time after they've gone to bed, or we've locked the door in our bedroom, so that's fine.
See,
but
the
when
kids broke our lock, so
sorry, Mom and Meg and Nick, but when I lived in my mom's in-law apartment, my brother would just like walk into my apartment sometimes, see what we had for food, and like there were a couple times where Pat and I were on the couch, and I would be like, Nick, go away, like scream, like go, and he'd be like, okay, sorry, bye.
But like,
we never like saw anything.
Knock.
No, they didn't knock. They just walked the fuck in.
Yeah, I don't know. I
think my sister did.
I always I don't just walk in places. Even like my kids' room, I always kind of like something. I don't know, and I don't know why. It just is. So hopefully I don't.
No, I've never had to. Like,
although, or maybe I want to because it's kind of hilarious. No, you have to respect.
I've never had to recover from that kind of situation. So
yeah, I don't have many stories.
That's pretty funny.
That were bad. Yeah,
I do have follow-up questions though. There's so many follow-up questions.
I met my significant other when I was 19, and he was 20. We both lived with our parents. This is more of his mother-in-law story, meaning about my own mother. We love those. We had only been dating a few moments.
Moments. 5 full minutes.
This is why Brittany's gonna read the fucking rest of them because I can't read.
I'll read them.
We've only been dating a few months, at the time, and we're in my bed watching a movie where we both fell asleep. Hours later, he woke up and he was leaving. He noticed the kitchen light was on. As a nice guy, he went to shut it off. And just as he made his way back to the front door, the light came back on. So he turned back and looked at it, saw my mother, butt-ass naked, walking back into the kitchen from where the light switch was. The next morning, my mother said, I think your boyfriend might have seen me naked last night, laughing my fucking ass off. When I asked him about it, he denied seeing anything for months, and finally one day he said, okay, I might have seen a side boob. 11 years later, 2 kids, a marriage, a house, etc. He's still scarred for life.
I mean, that's not bad. That's funny.
First of all, I love your mom for being that free with herself to just walk around the house naked.
Yes, with her 19-year-old daughter upstairs.
Well, that's
boyfriend.
That's the thing, is like, you gotta have a little bit of awareness about it, you know. Like, if I know I have people in my house, I'm not walking around naked.
Middle of the night, so she didn't think that anyone was there.
Yeah,
I know.
That's too risky for. I mean, I take calculated risks. That was not well calculated.
There was too much risk.
Yeah.
Too much risk.
And that's hilarious that she's like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm turning the light back on.
I think your boyfriend may have seen me, but I did turn on the kitchen light to show him. So
I'm fucking hungry. I'm in my kitchen.
I was making a sandwich.
All right. Next one.
Oh, man. Thankfully, this is now my ex-mother-in-law, but I was sitting in my daughter's nursery a week home from the hospital struggling to breastfeed. My daughter was crying for 4 hours as I was trying to feed her. My ex refused to buy formula until the doctor said my daughter needed it, but that's a story for another day. And that's why we got divorced. That doesn't say that there, but since it's her ex-mother-in-law,
Yeah.
I'm figuring. So finally I got my daughter to stop crying and fed enough to where she fell asleep in my arms, at which point I'm now crying as I let her sleep. My mother-in-law walks in the room unannounced, says, "My turn," and takes the sleeping baby from my arms and exits the room without another word. I was left speechless. 10 minutes later, my daughter, now screaming again, I hear her say, "Oh, she's cranky. I'll just come back again tomorrow." Hands her to my ex, and naturally, he gives her back to me and leaves the room, and we're at square one all over again.
Okay, so I have a lot of things to say about this. One, as someone who struggled to breastfeed, I feel you. For him, thinking that he had any say or control over that situation is so ignorant.
Yeah, that's about him,
I
though.
understand the thought process of saying not till it's an emergency, like wanting to give you the shot, but it doesn't sound like he was...
He should have said, "What do you want to do?"
Right. That's so up to you. And putting that
That's the
extra
only
stress on
thing he should have
you
said.
and risking any kind of issue with your daughter is so ignorant.
Yeah. So
this is why
I'm glad you're divorced.
Yeah, glad you're divorced.
I mean, I hope you are too.
And just showing up to people's houses, that was the thing I said, like, immediately. Like, you're not just gonna walk in. And Gio had the same thing. Like, okay, I have to back you up on this, that. We need a heads up. We can't just come in, especially after having babies. Like, no hospital visits. Like, we waited. And it's so stressful in itself, just like hormonally, and just like not knowing what to expect with how to feed. And
I think that a lot of the time when you have a new baby, everyone goes there to see the baby and no one ever remembers the mom.
Yeah.
And I think that moms need to be way more taken care of postpartum, and you definitely need to understand that, like, that's their baby that they just delivered, that even if it's a week later, like, the moms want time with their babies. Like, they don't want to just deliver this baby and then let everyone in the room hold that baby. Like, no. Right. I think that people forget that because it's so exciting.
It is. But, and I get it. And I get excited when my friends have babies and stuff like that. But, like, you got to reel it in.
You have to give space. I always, prior to having my own kids, was the friend or the cousin or the whatever, like, I can't wait to go see the baby. And now I'm like, oh my God, what do you need? And when do you need it? I'll be there. Like, tell me when you're ready and I'll bring you whatever you want. Like,
yeah. And some people are okay. Some people are okay with having kids and just immediately, and whatever, that's cool. But
yeah, I think it's changing though. And I think a lot more, I think a lot more people our age are more vocal about it. But in this situation, it sounded like she was just in the depths of postpartum and, like, didn't really know how to react to that because you probably never expected it to even happen.
Right.
You're just like,
what the fuck?
What just happened?
But also for breastfeeding moms that are struggling to breastfeed, I want to remind you that when babies are born, their bellies are the size of cherries. Like the big cherries. So
a big
like the big red ones that aren't like pre-seeded. They need way less milk than you think that they do, especially the first couple of days, and then it does grow. But we think that they're gonna feed like 9 months old, and they don't.
Yeah.
So take that
and if you are
breathe about it. So
yeah.
You're probably doing better than you think that you are when it comes to breastfeeding.
And if you're a mom who wants to breastfeed and you're having challenges, don't give up. Like, if it's something you actually want to overcome, you probably can, as long as it's not like a tongue tie situation or something with latching. If it's something you're set on doing, I would say don't give up. But if it's like you're teetering and you don't want to feel like a failure, fucking buy that formula.
Right. There's
because you're not a failure.
Fed is fed.
Yeah, 100%.
Fed is best.
I tried breastfeeding both my kids, and both resulted in being formula fed.
And it's exhausting, and it's
also
literally a full job.
Yeah, if you don't have the mental health, I didn't. It was for my mental health that I had to switch. I couldn't do it.
And it took. I beat myself up a lot with the first two, but with Eamon, when the first time I started feeling just like a negative emotion about it, I was done.
Yep,
I was done, and I let myself be done, and it was the best postpartum period that I had because
You weren't
I
stressed
wasn't,
about breastfeeding.
yeah, it wasn't an added
Yeah.
emotional thing, you know? So next one, nothing worse than a mother-in-law scared to let go. Yes. Prior to us getting together, he lived with her, and once she told me my son is never moving out. Well, here we are, finally out of the house, and I swear I went from a go-getter best woman for him to questioning if I put bad juju on him during my last retreat. I don't know what that means, but when I feel like part of being a parent is understanding at some point you're going to have to let go of that human. Like, you're not giving birth to this human to hold on to them for the rest of their lives or your life, whatever. You're preparing them to go out there in the world. So I feel like women that are this attached to their kids
had kids for the wrong reasons.
That and they never emotionally matured or healed things that they probably went through as kids, and then just bring that into their kids' lives, and then in that way end up kind of fucking their kids up.
Yeah, you have to. I saw a TikTok and it was a woman. She was practicing how to be a good mother-in-law, and she was like reciting all these things that you would say as a mother-in-law that would be the right thing to say, like, of course we'll see you if you we're having Thanksgiving in our house, if you can make it great, if you can't, no worries. And she's like, I'm not gonna be a terrible mother-in-law. And I thought they were like, you really do have to remember that you're gonna if you have any kids, you're gonna be someone's mother-in-law someday. Don't be a monster. Like, yeah. And you need to, your whole point of being their mom and raising them is to let them like fly free someday. You need to trust that you did a good job and let them make mistakes.
This is something that I see a lot in my husband's family. He is Puerto Rican and everybody is old school Puerto Rican, and it's like mom comes first, the elders are everything. Yeah. And to some degree I understand that growing up in an old school Portuguese household, but
We're
and
Portuguese.
I think this generation of like his cousins and stuff are doing a good job at unraveling all that
and setting
toxicity.
Boundaries. Yeah, I feel like so I'm Portuguese and Italian. I would say that me and my mom are pretty codependent, but it's not in a toxic way. Like, she's my best friend, she knows everything, I tell her everything, but she would never let anything I ever say about someone sway her opinion. Like, she loves Pat. She knows that husbands and wives sometimes have bad days. Like, she would never get involved or do anything like that. But we are I do tell her everything. But I don't have my mom trusts me to make my own decisions. I don't have someone you need to do what I say.
Yeah.
You can't date that person or be with that person. Okay. My mother-in-law lived with us for a while and would complain to me that she didn't think I was satisfying him enough because with her being home every day, all day, she never heard us.
Then leave. Then fucking
How do you
leave.
say to your son's girlfriend?
I'm sorry, why are you worried about our sex life? Why are you worried about what he's doing? As a boy mom times 3, I'm trying, and my kid, Eden, he's getting to that age. I'm trying not to ever think about what's going on with his weenus. You know what I mean? I don't know. That is such a weird thing.
Here's another one. It's just about that.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
This is creepy. We're on creep it. So to pivot off of that, my mother-in-law used to beg me to compare my man's penis to other men I've been with. She would constantly ask me if it was bigger or smaller than so-and-so and tell me how in her experience as his mother, when she would change his diapers as a kid, she would always admire how much bigger She would always admire how much bigger it was than other children's she used to change, and now she wonders why he doesn't talk to her. That's fucking weird.
That is really fucking weird.
No.
That's, I don't know. To me, that makes me so uncomfortable, pedophilia ways. Why are you ever looking at
children?
Yeah, you obviously have to take care of your kids and you see their stuff, but to even think about it is very weird.
Nope, don't like it. Cringy. So cringy.
I just really don't have anything. It's just so fucking weird. And I am pretty open sexually. explain like questions that they have, like we'll talk about it and stuff like that. But as far as putting yourself in the mindset to think about your children fucking is so
It's weird.
gross.
It's weird. And like to ask about their genitals, like that's also fucking
Mind your
weird.
own penis. Like
it's so fucking weird.
that is so weird. Ew. I'm glad he doesn't talk to her anymore.
All right. 2 weeks after I started dating my boyfriend, I met my mother-in-law, who instantly started berating me about giving him a child because he's her baby and her only son. And even though she had 4 other grandchildren at the time, she just wanted her only son, her baby, to have a child right away. A few years later, and I still refuse.
Like, oh, cool. I'm glad that's what you want, not your relationship. These parents without the boundaries, I like me and my mother-in-law, she's a strong Puerto Rican woman and she has a powerful presence. And Gio had never been with anyone that was going to speak up. I did. I spoke up and everybody knows their place in the dynamic now. I was not going to let that shit happen. Like, that is inappropriate. That's not how we're doing things. Like, boundaries from the beginning for me, because I just can't. Nobody was going to be happy. Nobody was going to be happy. And to feel entitled to someone's body like that, those things are so wrong to me. Imagine telling someone you have to get pregnant.
I can't imagine being I can't imagine ever doing some of the things that some of the things we've read, but right. I also can't imagine like being these women like
in situations that you have to
like that. I love Patrick so much, but I feel like if his mom ever did any of these things, like I'd be like her or me, because I cannot. That's a terrible thing to do. We're like, you need to set these boundaries or I'm not gonna be able to deal with it. Because I'm so thankful that I don't have that.
And then being with somebody if they aren't willing to like intervene, because I do know some men that are scared, might be like an extra word, I don't know, but don't want to speak up to their moms. And it's like, you better speak up.
Well, because if it's a healthy relationship, your mom wants what's best for you, and you should be able to talk to your mom. You should be able to express and set boundaries and know that it comes from a place of love, not
right.
But some moms, that especially ones of sons with
self, like
when you have a mama's boy, you have to like, I think it's your job. Like Killian and I are like so close. Like he's 100% a mama's boy, and I have to be very aware of like that. I don't want him to be that kind of mama's boy. Right. Like we're not. Someday you're gonna have to not pay attention to what I say and maybe listen to what your girlfriend says or a boyfriend or whatever. Because I feel like he would be like, I gotta do what my mom says.
Yeah.
Like, but he's
I
also
also
3,
think that there's a difference of being like, oh, I would love you guys to have kids or whatever, but then be like, this isn't
she
pressure.
Used the word berating, so it had to have been pretty intense.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's okay to be like, oh, I can't wait to have grandchildren. I can't wait for you to have kids. If that's what you want, if you guys are going to have kids.
Right. If you decide.
I would love it, but it's also none of my fucking business.
Yeah, there's also a lot of things I think you have to unlearn when you become a parent, because you might have these expectations that one day you're going to plan a wedding with your kids, or one day you're going to be a grandparent, and your kids might tell you, fuck that, I'm not getting married or having kids.
And you always have, you have to remember, it's not your life.
It's not your life. You chose to have kids. You didn't choose to, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but you want me to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. So we decided to elope and not tell anyone. The day after we were married, a picture got out, and my mother-in-law sent family members to our house to harass and question our decision. It almost ended in a physical altercation. Come to find out, a few days later, she made the entire family cut contact with both of us, blocked me on all social media, even people I've never met. That was almost a year ago. Till this day, I'm still blocked.
All right, so first
this
of
goes
all,
back to exactly what we were just talking about. If your kid decides to elope, you should be happy for them.
It's not your wedding. It's not your marriage. It's not. And I think you really have to. I feel like parents are really good at being like, you're not the center of the world, and then all of a sudden you're a grown adult and they think they're the center of the world.
Yes.
And it's like, no,
I could understand being like,
she 100% is entitled to be upset about it,
disappointed,
but. Because, I mean, yeah, you want to be there. But it's not like they invited other people and didn't invite you specifically. It's a them moment. It's a moment for them.
Also, if you were probably a great mother-in-law that had a great relationship and weren't toxic at all, maybe you would have been invited.
And then also family that showed up.
Yeah.
Like, it
fuck
sounds
them.
like you're not missing out. It's fine that you're blocked. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, that
the appropriate response to finding out your kid gets elopes is, oh my God, congratulations. Do you need anything for the house or whatever? Or do you need any money towards your honeymoon? Or I can't wait to see pictures.
Right.
That's it.
And
I love you so much. Congratulations.
But it's okay to be upset for not being there because, yeah, it is a life milestone, but you don't get to do anything other than have your feelings and let them go.
Parents don't have a right to your decisions. Like,
right.
Just because you get married, just because I'm your mom doesn't mean I have a right. Like, I feel like just because you're family, you don't have a right to my kids. Just because you're my mom, you don't have a right to come. Like, doesn't mean you're going to be there.
And that's how I feel too. And that's horrible. That really sucks. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, you're better off without him.
Yeah. I mean,
sounds like you're missing a lot. You're missing out on a lot of drama.
Something that's supposed to be like the happiest time of your life. You come home and you have to deal with.
Yeah, that's the harassing family members. That's drama. It started over half a decade ago when I wouldn't pay for her dinner at Chili's. We were there for a gathering of 10 people and everyone paid for themselves. She assumed that because I invited her, I had to pay for her multiple drinks and dinner.
Can we just stop right there? Bitch, no. This isn't a date.
Wait. She has not accepted me or liked me since. She has threatened to send the MOB after me.
The mob?
The mob.
Okay.
But I was like, the MOB.
I don't know.
Well, it's the mob in capitals, so I thought mother of the bride, but that wouldn't work.
I'm just gonna say people that
threatened to send the mob after me, wished me and my family ill and death. Oh, and left several inappropriate drunk voicemails, including one saying she doesn't suck dick.
I mean,
this woman's
the mob's not coming for you, bitch. I'm gonna say if you start throwing shit around that, if people that are like, I could get this person to kill you, these people, those people don't know who the fuck you are, bitch.
Because
you have no connections. This is Chili's.
Chili's
okay,
dinner.
and then you want to just like really make yourself look like shit and be like, I don't suck dick either. Like,
then what do you have going for you?
Yeah, seriously, you can't
afford Chili's. You don't suck
dick, and the mob's not answering your calls.
Who even are you? Oh man, I'm sorry that's your mother-in-law.
I would fucking like just okay. No, that's horrible. I was gonna say I would play them at family gatherings on the big screens. Check what Sherry said out on this one.
Just the voicemails on loop.
What does your partner say about that though?
Yeah, a lot of these have follow-up questions to like, what's the partner?
Like, where's your partner in this?
Oh man, her poor partner. Like, I'd feel like, imagine like that's my fucking mom.
I just can't, like the context to be like, and anything to like, I'm calling to tell someone off and be like, and I don't suck dick. Like, what? Be an adult.
Grow up. Suck a dick. That could be on one of the Tumblrs.
That one really threw me. That's never like, I just don't understand where your mind has to be to be like, I'm better than you because I don't suck dick. Like, okay, it's the weirdest flex.
These are good. Also, Ashley pointed out, no one wanted to ask for advice or like spill the tea when it was about them, but as soon as it's about somebody else.
For the tea time episode, nobody. We got literally like what, like
10,
6, not even 10. I don't even think we got 10. We got like 15, and that was overnight. I gave you guys weeks to send in for the tea time episode, and then eventually I was just like, "Fuck this! I'm gonna do it anyway." This was less than 12 hours, and we got 15 responses. And you guys did not disappoint. Oh, are we getting serious? I don't know what to expect.
A little bit of attempted murder.
Oh.
My mother-in-law pretends to forget I have a severe nut allergy and sends my
This is the one
fiance
that was
home with
texted to me.
cookies and brownies every week with nuts and says they're not free, then goes, oh, but there's almond extract in it. Or it's Heath Bar, no nuts. Almonds are nuts. She wants to buy my wedding cake as a gift, and I refuse because I think she wants me dead. This is... You can't buy my cake because I'm pretty sure you're going to put nuts in it. Oh,
Listen,
my God.
when she texted me this, I was like, I can't stop laughing, but this is actually really
So
serious.
bad.
At what point do you contact the police? Like,
She's literally poisoning your food and then be like, oh, oops, forgot.
like, I don't trust any. I'm not eating pasta at your house because I feel like you're just gonna put.
She's putting pine nuts in that.
Yeah.
She's putting pine nuts in the pesto for sure.
Oh my God,
those are not nut free.
No, we can't. I told her. I was
Oh
like, this,
shit.
It's hilarious, but it's not funny at all.
No.
She's actually, that's a problem.
It's the ghost.
Oh, do you really have a ghost in that?
I
The
don't-
door
I
just
feel
opened
like-
by itself.
I feel like we do have a ghost.
That's okay.
I
mean, no, it's not. I mean, it is what I'm.
Hey.
Let's just move on.
I feel like I would not let her buy the cake.
No, and you're not even trying to be secretive about it. You're not even doing a good job. Like, you're not trying to secretly poison someone.
It's
to
not
kill them.
free with almonds sprinkled
Like,
on
your
top.
MO is to give somebody sweets that have nuts in them, that they have a peanut allergy. I mean, a nut allergy. And then you're like, hey, why don't you let me buy the cake? Like, I don't know what your plan's going to be. Bitch, I know you're putting nuts in that cake. What's the next one?
My ex-mother-in-law. Sorry. Started reading ahead. I shouldn't have
Yeah,
done that.
it's okay.
My ex-mother-in-law used to take her son's side for literally everything. Once, he slapped me in the face at Thanksgiving because he was so drunk and I was trying to keep him from drinking more. And his mother said, you shouldn't have told him what to do. If that was my son, hell no.
If I watched my son slap a woman in the face, you're going to have to hold me back. You know what I mean? You shouldn't have told him what to do.
No.
Okay. But this isn't a but. I feel like this makes me an asshole for saying but. Like, she probably grew up in a really fucked up situation, and her sense of
Yeah, but for her to
reality
say, like, you
is-
shouldn't have told him what to do makes me think that she's a complete enabler.
I feel, yeah.
She's
And it's
never
like-
told him what to do his entire life, which is why he's now not
That's
a good
the
boyfriend.
literal same thing as telling someone who got raped you shouldn't have wore that. It's the same, like,
Should've told him what to
flawed logic.
do.
Like,
Yeah, no, I don't like that at all. Oh my God. Yeah, no, if your
I mean,
your
he
son
was-
is acting inappropriate, you need to I think it's okay, like, for you to step in at that point. There was a physical
yeah.
altercation
Like,
there. You shouldn't have told him
In
what to
front,
do.
in front, and that was, and your thing was just like, that's your fucking problem.
Also, if he did it at Thanksgiving, it sounds like probably in front of more than just his mom.
why are
like,
you
the whole-
drinking? Like, ew. I can read this one. It's short. When mother-in-laws are always making comments about having a baby. So this, oh yeah, we've already talked about this. Like, mind your own uterus.
Also, what if this is what people tend to forget. What if they've either decided already not to have kids? What if she can't have kids? What if that's like something that the mother-in-law knows nothing about and then you're just like,
Well, I'm sure
Bring
that
that
if there
shit
were
up.
any of the, or there were already miscarriages or whatever,
yeah.
she would probably be talking shit about that too. Like, it's just feel like it's not a good person kind of energy
Yeah.
to pressure people about having kids.
No.
No, just mind your
Just
own
stop
business.
doing
I
that.
get wanting to have
It's 2024.
grandchildren. I
Stop
get
doing
it. Yeah, just don't ask people when they're gonna have kids. Stop asking people when they're gonna get married. Let people live their fucking lives.
According to what they want, not what you think they do.
Yeah, I read this one ahead of time because it was one of the ones that I read, and it's just what it was.
Once my mother-in-law cussed me out for whispering to my sister-in-law about my mother-in-law while she was in the room. She literally was sobbing and saying I was bullying her and told on us to our husbands, her sons. Anyway, I was not whispering about mother-in-law. I was actually telling my sister about how the cleaning lady found my vibrator on the floor that morning because me and my husband had been having sex. And I had to tell everyone that's what we were whispering about because she did not believe me. So
That's hilarious. I'm proud of you guys for using vibrators in your sex life.
A+.
Yes. And like
sobbing though, and like
bullying you,
telling on you to her sons.
Listen, so I feel like
so childish.
It is so childish. I feel like bullying is such a reach because like nothing's being done to you. People can whisper about whatever the fuck they want to whisper about.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't want to be that guy because I get really pissed off when things like are blamed on this, but have we thought that maybe some of these, some of the milder ones, like the crying about being bullied, could be like a hormonal thing, like a menopausal?
Oh, that's true.
That's horrible. I mean, that's like people telling me I'm upset because I have my period. Which, I mean, I probably am upset because I have my period. But also, like, some of this shit is so
It could make
childish.
some of the outbursts, maybe.
Yeah. So
but
not being able to
deep
control
down
yourself.
somewhere you're feeling that way,
yeah.
and that's like the deeper problem. You felt that way. Like your first thought was to like be offended or feel like you're being like singled out or left out when it's like literally not about you.
Right.
I think that's what mother-in-laws have to learn. It's not about you.
Right. It's not your life. Unless something like extreme is happening. Like, I think that's a reasonable thing that like if there's some sort of like self-harm, spousal harm, child endangerment situation,
right? Like
then okay, but what we do in our bedroom, what we do in our house, when we get married, the kids we have, like those are off topic, off.
Yeah, and if your son ever lays his hands
like,
on his partner and you think that that's okay, then you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
That's the only time you're allowed to interfere.
I feel like trauma to some degree has like it has influence over what you think, but also you're responsible for like becoming a productive member of society, you know? So
I'm sorry you guys have some terrible mother-in-laws.
Yeah,
I'm happy to be anyone's mother-in-law instead. I volunteer.
so many parties to go to. I'm glad that we filled up a whole 40 minutes. We'll probably do this again. And next time that we ask for secrets, you guys have secrets. I know you do. After hearing about some of your mother-in-law, I know you guys have stories to tell us. So
oh yeah. Yes.
Next tea time is going to be that hot tea. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple. And we will talk to you next week.
Bye.